What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days. We do have some big topics to discuss. Firstly, Flick is keen on signing a new forward in 2026, and we have been linked with the Borussia Dortmund striking duo of Guirassy and Adeyemi. Of course, one of the main things that we need to reinforce is this goddamn defense, and Deco is working and analyzing potential center back signings in 2026 like Marc Guehi, Schlotterbeck, Inácio, and also a youngster that could be an opportunity as well in Gonçalo Oliveira. We have some updates on players' futures as well in regards to Lewandowski, Frenkie de Jong, and Marcus Rashford. And finally, we have a lot of updates in terms of news around the club in the work of Joan Laporta. We have an update on the European Super League, the match in Miami that has received the green light, and of course, S5 Barca. 3 huge updates around what the president has been working on over the past few weeks. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and let's try and get to 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And also, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is by far the best replica jersey website on the market, and it's not even close. They have a variety of different items at the absolute best prices. They sent me 2 kits recently. First one is the retro Barcelona kit, the home kit, which I'm currently wearing right now, and also as well the second kit for that season in the blue edition. Oh my god, like, the stitching is fantastic, the quality is, superb. Feels like I have the actual, original kit for a fraction of the price. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 10% off your order. That's BOY. Use it at checkout, and all orders above $80 as well will receive free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. The first item of business is in regards to Barcelona's reinforcement in the center back department. Of course, center backs this season have been a bit lackluster, and we have been linked with some. Firstly, Sport have come out saying that Barcelona's club is searching for a left back signing. Schlotterbeck is a primary option, and they continue to monitor Gonçalo Inácio as an alternative. The final decision will depend on the development of Christensen's situation and the club's financial state heading into the summer of 2026. He's not the only one. There is also the other option of Gonçalo Oliveira. Carlos Monfront has come out saying that Deco met with agents Carlos Gonçalves and Antonio Casanova with the purpose of discussing about Gonçalo Oliveira, a young left-footed center back. At the moment, Barcelona are only monitoring, as the club has no urgency to strengthen the center back position as of right now, but they are at least keeping an eye on a left-footed center back, which is a positive. And finally as well, you can never rule out Barcelona in regards to the free agent market, and Barcelona are monitoring Marc Guehi's situation. Plenty goal of Sky Germany has come out saying that there is competition for Marc Guehi. Barcelona and Liverpool are seriously involved, and Real Madrid are also in the race as well. Initial talks with Bayern and the player representative have already taken place, and Bayern are interested in a free agent transfer in 2026, but that depends on what happens with Upamecano and Kim Min-jae's situation at the club, because of course he is mainly a Bayern Munich journalist. But he is mentioning that Barcelona are showing strong interest, and also as well Fabrizio Romano did confirm that several clubs in the Premier League and also Barcelona are showing big interest in Marc Guehi. But I think it depends on what happens with Barcelona. I think Sport initially mentioned the main thing is on Andreas Christensen, and I disagree. I think the main thing is on Araujo. If he has a good season, if he has a poor season, I think we're at a point now where this season for him is do or die, and I think he will be the one that will lead to a center back signing. I think we are expecting Christensen to have his future be decided later on in 2026 based on how well he does, how much we need him, the market itself being available, things like that. But I think this team is absolutely desperate for a left-footed center back. Right now, all of our defenders are right-footed. Koundé, Eric Garcia, Araujo, Christensen, Kubarsi. Who else am I missing at this point? I think Balde and Gerard Martin are left-footed, but everyone else is right-footed. We need some diversity. I think that's why Inigo Martinez worked so well last season, because of his left foot. It let the game flow much more, because when the right-footed players at left center back, he has to twist and turn, adjust himself always, because he has to favor what side he wants the most. So what we can see is quite clear that Barcelona do need a defender of some sort. I really do like the option of Inácio and Schlotterbeck as well. I think Schlotterbeck will be a free agent come 2027 as well, so he's entering this season into the final year of his do or die type of contract. Inácio is a great center back as well. Wouldn't mind Marc Guehi as well. I think he's a good option. I think he's a great defender as well. To be honest, I'm not really against any of the center backs here that are mentioned. I don't think we need a world-class, Van Dijk coming in right now. I think what we need is that step before Van Dijk to come in, nurture for a year or two, build a partnership with whoever center back we will have beside him at Barcelona, and then grow into that. Of course, we can sign a VVD type of defender right now. We will take it, depending on how this team does this season. But I don't mind any of these options, to be honest. So we'll wait and see what happens. But of course, internally, they have to address that first in regards to Araujo and Christensen's future ahead of going out there and signing a defender. Now, in terms of looking for the future of this team up front, we are going to be looking at whether or not Lewandowski will continue now every single season. Right now, we're not clear. We have an update on that later on. But in the event that Lewandowski does end up leaving this summer, Barcelona are attentive to striker options. One of them being Karim, Adeyemi, who we were linked a lot with back in, the day 2020, 2021 as a winger. And Bill have come out saying that Barcelona are back in the race for Karim Adeyemi, who's having a spectacular season while his dormant contract runs out until 2027 and still has not renewed. The club may consider selling him rather than risk losing him on a free transfer. So very much in the same situation as Schlotterbeck. Both of their contracts expire in 2027. They're not really showing keen positivity on renewing their contract with Dortmund. So Dortmund might cash out on them with 1 year left in their deal this summer. So that's one to keep an eye on. Of course, his striker partner in Guirassy. Now, Bild have come out saying that Guirassy has reached an agreement with Dortmund to reduce his release clause to 65 million euros this summer in the event a big club comes in. I think his standard release clause is 100, but they've lowered it now to 65 if a big club like Barcelona or Real Madrid come into it. I think 65 million euros for a 30-year-old doesn't really make too much sense whatsoever. Good player, of course. I would love him to be like a plan B. I think he's a fantastic, backup option, not what we want to start week in, week out with. Maybe like an alternative option in some games and stuff like that. But for 65 million, 30-year-old, bit too much in my opinion. Now, Deco has been speaking about Barcelona signing a striker, as he likes to do his media world tours, and he said right now there's no need to be obsessed with signing a number 9. Maybe it's possible to play without a traditional striker. This isn't the time to talk about signings. Varane can play as a 9. PSG won the Champions League last season without a main striker, which again, he is right, but using that as a cop out to the question, I don't like too much. I understand that he's probably right. There's no need to be obsessed with it, because right now we're not going to do anything. We're not going to look for a striker probably until like March, April time, before they transfer the summer transfer window. I doubt we're going to sign a striker in January. I doubt we're going to make any signing in January. But him being a bit lackluster to the facts, I don't know if he's trying to play reverse psychology, where he's already thinking about it and making his lists, or he's trying to throw the media off. I don't know. But the fact that he used PSG as not having a main striker last season as a cop out didn't really sit well with me. I think it's a bit negative here from our sporting director. But we'll see what happens in regards to adding a striker. Of course, Flick is keen on a striker. He really likes Guirassy as well. I think spending 65 on Guirassy is a bit crazy though. But we'll see how things develop, what striker become available as well, and who will be our primary target going into 2026 if, of course, Lewandowski does end up leaving. Let's now discuss some of the futures of some current Barcelona first team players. First up is Frenkie de Jong, who is set to renew his contract with Barcelona very soon. Carlos Monfront has come out saying that Barca and Frenkie's lawyers are exchanging the final documents, and only decision remains for the renewal until 2029 to take effect. The process is in its final stages, and in the coming days, the board of directors is expected to give its approval to the agreement, a standard proceeding in any renewal or signing. Ali Durson's past handling often dragged out negotiation, but with Frenkie's de Jong's new reps, lawyer Sebastian Leder, talks move swiftly. His role, combined with Deco's smooth relationship with the players' camp, was key to reaching the agreement after weeks of discussion. Fernando Polo also came out saying that Frenkie has already agreed to most of the part of his contract renewal, although nothing has been signed yet. October 15th has been in marked of the official signing of the contract renewal. Frenkie should return from the Dutch camp on October 13th. So you should sign it, of course, next week. I think that's like what, Wednesday or Thursday? It is Wednesday, what I guess from me. So next Wednesday, about of course a week yesterday, we will get that Frenkie renewal on the official term. Also, they're having reports coming out saying that Frenkie de Jong's new deal will fit within Barcelona's current wage structure. He's meant to earn around 6 million net, 12 gross, on par with the same wage as Pedri and lower than the likes of Lewandowski, Rafinha, Lemmy, and of course Ter Stegen's wages, which of course he had to defer. So he's going to be, lowering his wages quite considerably. He won't even be a top 5 earner at that point anymore. Making the same amount of money as Pedri for me is absolutely 100% fair, and I do commemorate, I do, respect and give praise to Frenkie for, lowering his wages and, putting the club first, helping the club out, not really focusing on the money aspect, but more so on the terms of the project, his future at the club as well. So great play to have for the foreseeable future. It's not even, not really a long-term deal, only a 3-year renewal, but still very, very important. And we'll see what happens next week in terms of his official signing to get maybe some official details from the club's official statement. Now, one player's future at the moment that is very unclear is, of course, the future of Robert Lewandowski, who now officially will be going on a year-to-year basis in terms of his future at Barcelona. Now, Raccoon have come out saying that Lewandowski would like to extend his contract with Barcelona for an additional season. He has not yet discussed it with the club yet, but the club does not want to discuss it at the moment. Again, Deco has made this clear. He wants to wait until maybe a month or two left in the season, see how much Lewandowski has done, how he is, mentally and physically, and then assess it, which I think is definitely the correct way to approach it. Catalonia Radio came out saying that so far no discussions have taken place with the club regarding Lewandowski's contract renewal. The situation will be assessed at the beginning of January. Those close to Lewandowski say he understands his limited minutes this season, and this will give him extra motivation to continue training, and Lewandowski is convinced that he will soon return to the starting position in the attack. So again, what it comes down to Lewandowski now is his age. Again, we're going to go on a year-to-year basis, see how he performs, how he plays in terms of the levels of football at the highest level, and then we're going to reassess it. But again, this might also entail what we find in the market as well to replace Lewandowski. If we have no one, he was maybe like okay, we might keep him. If there's someone and he was okay, we might bid him. If there's no one, he was mid, we might end up keeping him. So I think that will also play a big role as well. But I think mainly it will come down to probably what I just mentioned there about strikers being available, so like that, like maybe like 40%. I think 60% will come down to Lewandowski himself. If he goes to the club and says, I think I'm still fit enough, I want to stay another season, the club might keep him and still sign a striker, but I think it will mainly come down to how he feels. If he says no, the club will definitely respect it. If he says yes, then it kind of falls into the decision of the club, and I think they will say, yes or no based on what's available on the market and replacements internally as well. So wait and see on the future of Lua. Right now it's a bit unclear. We'll have more an idea into next season, but it is one of question. Now, another player's future that is very much in the exact same situation as Lewandowski, where we're going to decide at the end of the season, is on Marcus Rashford. Now, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that there is a very strong possibility that Marcus Rashford will continue at Barcelona. Barcelona is very pleased with his attitude. He's training hard, staying professional, and the overall feeling is positive. I mean, if you can just go to my channel back in October of 2023, you'll see the same thing about João Felix. It was the exact same thing. Sort of upgrade, the club are going to negotiate with Atletico, they're going to reach an agreement, and then he ended up not staying because he didn't do well over the course of the season. Do not rush to conclusions. Barcelona will not execute anything until the season ends and they decide. Of course, if they have to decide right now, if the deadline is October 10th, they probably would decide to buy him. But we don't have that deadline until June the 30th. He's had a good start, Marcus Rashford. He's had the most goals and assists in the team this season. But again, it is just the start. We need to see the end product. That's the most important thing. Again, the price to buy him is 30 million euros. There is no loan fee as well, which is a great positive that Deco did confirm a few weeks ago. All we do is pay the majority of his salary. And again, don't forget, Rashford is on 250,000 euros per week at Barcelona, so he does earn a lot of money, and we need to see that output on the pitch. But in regards to Barcelona feeling good and he's gonna stay, do not read into it. We might definitely feel positive, I don't doubt that, but very strong possibility he will continue is absolute rubbish. We will not decide until June the 29th. So we'll see what happens with Rashford's future. Right now it's off to a good start, but only time will tell. I do want to remind you about João Felix. The exact same thing happened. He had a good start. He had, I think, 5 GAs in his first few games. Barcelona are already going to negotiate with Atletico Madrid. Do not read into it until the end of the season. Nothing is guaranteed. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on Marcus Rashford himself, of course, went down at the end of the Sevilla match, according to reports. They assured that Marcus Rashford just had a bit of a knock. He ended up laying on the ground, but nothing too serious there. He, of course, traveled with England to the camp for the international break. We'll wait and see how many minutes he plays there. But again, nothing was serious. It was just a little bit of a knock. Of course, he was fit enough to go travel to his country. So we'll wait and see on that in the next few days. But the big injury update, of course, is on the best player in the world in Lamine Yamal. Now, Serhou of Marca has come out saying that Lamine is following an intense recovery plan with the goal of rejoining the team ASAP. He could be ready for the match against Girona, but not play the full 90 minutes, but to be included in the squad and possibly get some minutes depending on how the game does develop. If there are no last-second complications, he is expected to rejoin the group training on October the 18th, be fit for Olympiacos, and of course, be able to start El Clasico at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid on October 26th. And that was the main priority. When he got injured, we were happy that, okay, he's not going out to Spain. Be 100% fit for El Clasico. Be 1,000% fit for El Clasico. And we have no worries whatsoever. Ferran Martinez from Deportivo also came out confirming this as well, saying that the evolution of Lamine Yamal's injury is very positive. This week, he will undergo specific recovery and strengthening sessions at the Ciutat Deportiva and will have one less day off than the others. If all goes to plan, he will return against Girona, and this is the plan: to play about half an hour, 45 minutes against Girona, play about an hour of the Olympiacos match, and then of course Real Madrid be 100% fully fit and ready to go. This for me is the perfect plan. I'll even reduce probably the Girona for like 15-20 minutes. Don't even make him play half an hour. I mean, hopefully it doesn't have to come. If it comes down to that, then of course, yes, chuck him on the pitch. But hopefully it won't have to come down to that. He can come on, 75th minute, play the last, 15-20 minutes. I think that'll be good enough for him. Start against Olympiacos, play no more than an hour. That's the best thing. And then of course, start Real Madrid and then play for however long he needs to play. So hopefully that's a positive. And also the positive as well is in regards to Rafa and Fermin. They are expected to be fully recovered for the Girona game as well. They might not start the game, and they might start on the bench with Lamine Yamal, but they will be 100% ready to go as well. So 3 starters returning to Barcelona after this international break, which would be a big positive. We talked about, of course, lack of intensity and finishing in the final third, and these are 3 final third players who are going to be playing there and have great finishing as well. So hopefully this all comes as a positive. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. First up, very, very quickly, the Spanish Super Cup, of course, that will be taking place in January. The schedule has now been confirmed. The first match will be Barcelona against Athletic Club, and the second match will be the Madrid derby. I think last season it was the Madrid derby first, and then Barca versus Athletic Club. This year it is switched around, and of course all the times have been confirmed as well for 8 p.m. local time in Spain. The final, of course, on the 11th, and Barcelona play on the 7th. So I like that. I'd rather us, go out there first, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, go out there and win, and then see and enjoy the Madrid derby in peace, not having to fear about if we're gonna make it or not. I do like that a lot. Now, second update very, very quickly as well is in regards to our El Clasico specific kit. Now, Roche Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona will not wear the league's special El Clasico jersey that circulated online a few weeks ago. The team is set to play in the regular home kit with the Ed Sheeran logo to replace the Spotify logo. So in the end, this kit is going to be released by Barcelona as kind of like a retro kit or something like that, but we're not going to play in it. So that was a bit weird for me. We first announced it and it was leaked as, a El Clasico kit, and now all of a sudden it's not El Clasico kit. So we won't be wearing this kit anymore. We're going to be wearing our home kit with the Ed Sheeran, play for his album logo instead of the actual Spotify logo. But again, we will not be wearing this leak kit anymore. I think Memorabilia as well on Twitter did confirm it as well. So it will just be released as a, an item. Maybe we'll wear it for the El Clasico at the Camp Nou, perhaps. Maybe in other games as well where we need some sort of alternative kit potentially, but it will not be used as a standard kit and a specific El Clasico kit for this season. Now, in some other big news is in regards to Barcelona's position in the Super League that has pretty much made no developments over the past year. And following the match against PSG in the Champions League, Raccoon broke the news that Barcelona are planning to abandon the Super League project after the club's relations with UEFA have significantly improved over the past few months. Fernando Polo also confirmed this as well, that over the past 8 months, UEFA and A22, the company of course that runs the Super League, and representatives from Barcelona and Real Madrid have held secret negotiations to reach a compromise that avoids a breakaway project and instead evolves the current Champions League. Key points placed in front of UEFA by Barcelona and Real Madrid. Of course, Super League is firstly broadcasting a free global TV platform called Unify, offering matches at no cost with ads and a premium ad-free option. Secondly, competition format, keeping the name Champions League but splits it into 36 teams with 2 groups. Thirdly, change in format. The top 18, according to UEFA ranking, would play the 8 matches of the first phase, and the club ranked 19 to 36 would play the 8 matches more evenly matched, determined by draws, and happens as it happens, of course, today. The tweaks in format of UCL explained as proposed by UEFA by Barcelona, Real Madrid, and the Super League. At the end of this first phase, the top 8 from the group of teams ranked 1 to 18 would advance to the round 16 as it happens today. Meanwhile, the other 16 teams classified between Group 1 and Group 2 would play the round 32. As also what happens today, the 9th of the first group would face the team from Group 2 with the lowest score. Thus, the pairing would depend on classification after the first 8 phases matches. With this process change the format, the aim is to raise the level of the first phase of the competition with better matches, while also allowing clubs from the ranking group 19 to 36 to have chances to win the competition as well. So pretty much we already knew that UEFA changed the Champions League format because of the threat of the Super League. So it's pretty much a Super League at this point, but the Super League actual project, instead of making their own league, they said, you know what, let's join forces, let's give you some of our ideas, you implement some of our ideas, and we'll stop this breakaway project. This apparently was spearheaded by Joan Laporta himself as well. There's been really no developments in the Super League over the past year or so. We're still technically in it, but with our relationship with UEFA, improving over the past few months, negotiating that fine that we had, getting our first few games at the Montjuic, when we thought we were going to go back to the Camp now probably not, has improved the relationship significantly. We're even meeting with the ECA, that of course is run by the president of PSG and owner Nasser Al Khalifi. So everything's going swimmingly well. So Super League is very much going to be an abandoned project. We might just adjust with the current Champions League, which basically is a Super League at this point. Anyways, but again, Barcelona will be the first to leave the Super League officially, from them and Real Madrid, leaving Real Madrid all on their own. This also comes as well with Barcelona's relationship with Real Madrid being a bit, on the fence as of late over the past, 2 years, with of course mainly the Guirassy case, and Joan Laporta has made this move, which I think is a positive move. The Super League isn't improving. Again, Barcelona's making, a good amount of money from the Champions League, and around the much, of course they would make much more in the Super League, but they're making good enough money where the Super League one isn't that big of a difference, so they're very, very happy anyways, because revenue has increased. So we'll wait and see what happens in terms of the adaptation of the Champions League towards the Super League, but it looks like Barcelona are going to be abandoning and leaving the Super League project and signing more with UEFA, leaving Real Madrid on their own. Now, speaking about Barcelona making big decisions, another one has been made as well. The match taking place away against Villarreal has now officially been moved to the United States of America in Miami. We have now gotten the green light. Firstly, La Liga gave the green light and pushed it to FIFA. FIFA then had to push it to UEFA, and now UEFA have approved it, but they approved it reluctantly. They came out saying officially that UEFA looked to curb and put a stop to such instance of playing domestic matches abroad in the future. Part of the official statement reads, in parallel, all UEFA national associations confirmed their commitment to engage with UEFA before submitting any future requests. In doing so, they voiced their collective determination to safeguard the wider interests of European football. UEFA also clarifies points and figure to loopholes and regulatory gaps in FIFA's regulation, as a result of which they had to allow the request to play the domestic match abroad. The issue in the statement as well. And also the president of UEFA, Sefran, said that while it is regrettable to have let these 2 games go ahead, this decision is exceptional and shall not be seen as setting a precedent. Our commitment is clear to protect the integrity of national leagues and ensure that football remains anchored to its home environment. So pretty much no one wants this. The reason why UEFA approved it is because when La Liga and Barcelona and Villarreal brought it to La Liga and FIFA, there was some type of loophole that they found, which in the end they had to say yes to. They couldn't say no to it, pretty much. Which again comes down to Joan Laporta's fantastic mind and his ability to, find loopholes, which he's of course fantastic at. So they've said, look, we had to say yes to it, but we're going to make sure that those loopholes are covered and that this won't happen again. Again, my opinion is I think it's stupid. Again, we're going to be making around 5 to 6 million euros for this. Villarreal will make more because they're going to lose out from that home match revenue from the Ceramica. People are saying that, oh, we have an advantage now because we're going to have 2 home games against Villarreal, which I can understand the point, but in the end, game is game. I mean, I don't want this. I think it's stupid. I mean, the whole point of playing La Liga is to play in Spain. If I want to go watch it as a Canadian, or if I want to go watch it as an American, I have to fly to Spain, invest in the structure there and watch it there and enjoy it. Why am I gonna wait for it to come to me? It makes no sense. I don't like it, but in the end, it has been approved. It's also not Barcelona and Villarreal. Also, AC Milan versus Como in Serie A is going to take place in bloody Australia, which is absolutely crazy in itself. But again, this match will go ahead. It will be taking place on my birthday, December 21st, which hopefully means Barcelona can get a win. I think we're pretty much undefeated on my birthday. No, we actually lost my last birthday against Atletico. So we're not undefeated anymore. But this will be taking place December 21st in Miami. Again, no away game. Again, Villarreal are top 4 team, so we are, dodging a pretty, big away game, which I will take. But I don't want. I'd rather play the Ceramica away than in Miami. Again, there was a loophole. We found it. They're gonna patch that loophole. This hopefully will not happen again. But wait and see if La Liga and Barcelona push for it in the future. But again, Villarreal, Barcelona in Miami, December 21st, official and confirmed it will be taking place. Now, in regards to stadium and where matches will be taking place, of course, for Barcelona, we are still waiting to return to the Spotify Camp Nou. An update on our return, the club released an official statement saying that the club continues to work to obtain the necessary administration permits for the opening of the Spotify Camp Nou in the coming dates. Within this framework, Barcelona is working on the new amenities that Barcelona City Council shared with the club last week. So we're working hard. We're going to make those fixes and changes that they said earlier. Now, again, the issue is about the capacity. We can return to the Camp Nou probably in the next week or so after the international break, but only at a capacity in phase 1A of 27,000. When you get to phase 1B, you'll have 45,000, which is pretty much the same and close enough capacity to the Montjuic. So now the club are thinking what to do in that regards, and it looks like they have made their decision. Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona have been correcting all the deficiencies detected for the Spotify Camp Nou by City Council and the Fire Department, and they hope to have the license for phase 1A for the match against Girona after the international break. A visit from the City Council is expected in the coming days. The next match at home versus Olympiacos will be played at the Montjuic as phase 1B, with the latter stands will not be ready yet. Now, the club we can play at the Camp Nou at 27,000 capacity post international break. That's what it's looking like right now. But the club are thinking, what's better, 27,000 at the Camp Nou or 50,000 at the Montjuic? Because again, we still have the Montjuic rented until we pretty much need it. At this point, of course, you'll make more money at the Montjuic as well in terms of revenue for match days. So that is the current club's process. Do we wait until phase 1B when we have the ladder stands coming down, or do we just play the Montjuic until the Camp Nou has that capacity that matches the Montjuic? Like I said, I think they will go with that option. I will be happy and very, very surprised if we play the Camp Nou before the end of the year. I think most likely scenario is that start of the new year, after the Spanish Super Cup, we will be back at the Camp Nou. Maybe even worse, I think worst case scenario is probably once the round of 16 knockout round for the Champions League takes place. But they keep saying the club, we want to get there ASAP. We are paying, of course, money to rent the Montjuic, but they want to be able to maximize the match day revenue, so they don't want to maybe go back to the Camp Nou with the 27,000 seat capacity. So I don't know. We'll wait and see what they do end up deciding. I just want to be back there ASAP. I'd rather be at the Camp Nou 27,000 than 50,000 at the Montjuic. That's of course me as a fan thinking, but they're thinking as a fan also from the business side as well in terms of the money. But a positive about returning to the stadium is going to be, of course, we're going to have a goddamn animation stand. Finally. Raccoon have come out saying that Barcelona wants to present a new version of the Gran Animación. Certain groups have met with the club but are unaware of the conclusions as of yet. The club is considering including young people from the season ticket waiting list. We have not had an animation stand since last November when Barcelona kicked out the old Gran Animation because they didn't want to pay the fines that they of course accumulated. We've had no animation stand for a year now. That's why our atmosphere in our home games from the new year until now has been dead. Even against Inter, the semifinal was dead. Against PSG last week, it was dead. We just have Barca at the beginning of the game, and when we score, it gets loud. There's no chance, there's no movement, there's no force, there's no atmosphere whatsoever in our games, and this will bring it back, and this hopefully will give us somewhat of home field advantage that we rightfully deserved, and most importantly, missed. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss for end of this video is in regards to the presidential election coming up. As we all know, we are due for an election, and Joan Laporta, the current president, is going to be the one who will be able to call The elections usually happens at the end of the season, but Joan Laporta may do it a bit earlier. Franco Sport came out saying that Joan Laporta is reportedly considering rescheduling the upcoming presidential election for April 2026 to avoid transfer market and season team being an active influence on that. I don't mind it. He's going to win either way. The candidates are absolutely ass, and no one stands at any chance whatsoever. He will be reelected. If he's not, we are absolutely fucked beyond belief. So he will be reelected. It just comes down to what time that he feels is best. He'll do his litigation. He'll get probably cooked about his mistakes that he has made, the few, maybe the Xavi treatment, the Messi treatment, stuff like that. But he still will win this, with a landslide. I have complete faith. I mean, who knows? He might even promise us something a little special in the during the debates and stuff like that. So we'll wait and see what happens. But again, elections most likely going to be taking place before the end of the season. And again, it will be down to Joan Laporta himself to make that call and to make that public. Probably, I would say, a few months beforehand, so candidates can come out and get what they need to get. Have the debates as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be an intense new year with Barcelona, not only on the pitch but also off it. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing I want to first, of course, is your thoughts on the current striker duo being linked with Barcelona. Are you in favor of them? Would you rather go for someone else? Secondly, same thing on those center backs. Are you in favor of one of those four? Do you want someone else? Third, your thoughts on the features of Rashford and Lewandowski. Are you in favor of them staying long term or leaving in the short term? And finally, your thoughts mainly on Barcelona leaving the European Super League. Are you in favor of that or are you against it? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Yeah.